Health Alert is brought to you by OU Physicians in Tulsa. Hello, welcome to Health Alert. I'm Pam Butler. Today we're going to talk about economic health, and joining me is Victor Griffin. He is the president of Storehouse Financial, and with us is Chris Dannenfeld. You're with Dannenfeldt Financial Management. Welcome to the program.
Well, thanks for having us.
Now I'm going to start with you, Victor, to tell our viewers, what is Storehouse Financial? What kind of organization or institution are you? What do you offer?
I'm the president at Storehouse Financial, and I've been in the financial services for about 10 years now. I started Storehouse with a vision of training agents, a group of agents that we can go out and inspire and empower individuals to take control of their financial assets and make them safe, especially in an economy situation like we're dealing with now. This has really become good timing for what it is that we do. So Storehouse basically makes up a group of agents that we go out and work with individuals to empower them in reference to taking control of their finances.
Okay, and I know we've done other programs before, but for viewers that may not have watched those programs or maybe are unclear, again, you work with individuals, businesses, the whole gamut.
Yes, we work with individuals, businesses, professional athletes, multiple states. We work outside of Oklahoma, Texas, Florida, Georgia, several states in the United States. So.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Now I'm going to switch to you, Chris,
Okay.
here. You're with JC, you're the president of JC Dannenfeldt, which is you.
That's me.
What is your relationship? Tell me a little bit about what does JC Financial Management Group actually do, and then tell me your relationship with Storehouse Financial.
Well, we help people manage their finances and find a way to achieve the ultimate result, which is to get to retirement able to live comfortably. You know, so many people say when you're in retirement you'll be in a lower tax bracket. Well, that means you're making less money. So we want to solve that problem, make sure you are making enough money. We're giving you actual advice instead of just selling products. And our relationship with Storehouse, as Victor and I have met over the years, I'm very impressed with his knowledge base. You know, it's always good to be with someone else where you can learn from someone else, and we do a lot of joint work together with clients.
Okay, now I do want to clarify for viewers too who may not have heard you. You do a radio show for CNN?
Yes, I have a show on CNN called The Financial Warriors Show, where we do battle against the lies, myths, and misconceptions about your money.
All right, excellent. I mean, you can't get better than that.
Thank you so much.
So you're bringing a wealth of expertise here to us, and I want to tell you that I appreciate that and appreciate you being on the program.
Well, thank you.
Now, I do want to say, in terms of both of you and Victor, what it sounds like is that you're trying to challenge us to think a little bit differently than the traditional model, and I'll let either of you respond to that or jump right in. Is that kind of the basic premise of how to start looking in a non-traditional way of what we have been doing and what we think we ought to do?
Well, you know, in today's world, I think the fruit's on the tree, that here we are 10, 12 years in the past. People have made no money. The market has been flat for a number of years. Twice in the last 8 years, they've lost a lot of money. I think people are beginning to question the advice they've been given. In fact, actually, I would say I would question the fact of whether they're given any advice at all. They're sold products. There are ways you can be safe. We should be looking at strategies to be tax-free. I'm very, very concerned where tax rates are going to go in the future. Okay. I'm very concerned with inflation. You need to be developing strategies and stop being sold things, and that means most of the things we've been told, the conventional wisdom, just isn't true.
So when you look at it and we think about businesses and or individuals where we're talking about, you know, IRAs, Victor, or looking at 401k plans or things such as that, is that something we should reevaluate? I mean, does Storehouse help us begin to rethink that? Do you help us with that if we come in and say, this is what we have? How do you help us look at that?
Well, we take a look at it, and then once we do have our clients come into the office, we're going to find out what makes them tick, what their goals are, and then we're not product driven, we're more strategy driven, and results is the name of the game. So we're trying to help them get the best possible results in reference to what it is that they want to accomplish in their financial endeavors as far as retirement is concerned or business is concerned. And so we're listeners, and we listen to them, and then we come back with solutions or advice. And a lot of times with the IRA, 401ks, these are government qualified plans that they have brought out to us to participate in. And at the end of the day, we're going to always revert back to results. And if the results aren't there the way we need them to be, then we may want to take a second opinion and get a second look at some other options that may help us get to our goals.
Okay, well with that, Chris, let me ask you this, because Victor did talk about maybe getting a second opinion and looking at that. We are told that these are the plans that we should have. I mean, we need to sign up for them, we need to invest in them, but is that really the whole picture, or does that one size fit all not really fit all?
Well, I don't think one size fits all does fit all. I think you're exactly correct. The problem with an IRA and a 401k is if you're at all entrepreneurial, you're putting money in a plan that's now tied up until 59 and a half. That's a lot of years where you have no options to play with that money to maybe start a business. Number two, maybe you're putting away $6,000 a year this year and you're saving, we're told, $1,500 in taxes. Well, you're not saving it, you're just putting off paying it till in the future. So the question is, what will be the impact on that in retirement? So over a 30-year working life, you've saved $45,000 in taxes, but now in retirement, you'll pay back over $500,000 or $600,000 on taxes on that dollar, and that's assuming they don't raise taxes. So if they do raise taxes, you could have a financial nightmare in retirement because you've got money trapped in jail in an account that you don't know how much you'll get to get out if the government changes the tax rates. That's just one simple area that could financially destroy your retirement.
So in looking at that, let's say for individuals that have the 401ks and they have the IRA already going and they come into you and say, well, this is what I already have. How do I free my money? You know, it's like, how do I get it out where, or can I, where I can do what you're saying? I mean, is there a way, or is it, that's just too late? We need to start over and looking at another option. I mean, how do you work with that? And we'll throw that over to either of you.
Well, we'll look at the situation, and usually what you find is a company will say, well, we're going to match you dollar for dollar up to 3 to 6% is a range I see most commonly. Well, if they see the standpoint that we point out to them that you may not want to postpone taxes to a later date in the future at the risk that they may be higher if the tax rates do go up like we plan them to do, then we can say based on that contribution, you can redirect those funds into a non-qualified situation. Instead of putting in, like some, when they'll have a 3 to 6% match and they're putting in 10 to 15, and they're subjecting more of those dollars to taxes in the future that could be at possible higher rates. So we can say, instead of contributing 10, 15, why don't you go ahead and contribute up to what they're matching and then redirect that other 4, 6% into a non-qualified arena, which is going to be tax-free in the future versus tax.
Well, and many times, you know, it's never too late. I mean, the only time it's too late is after you're dead. But while you're still alive, let's say you're still working at the company, many companies will allow you to do today what's called an in-service. In other words, while you're still working there, non-hardship distribution, you take money out of the 401k and put it in a personal IRA. That would be the first step we'd want to do. If you're in retirement already, it's still not too late. We can start doing some transfers to the tax-free accounts. If you've got IRAs already, one thing you could do is convert to a Roth IRA. That's an opportunity next year. Even if you make too much money this year, the government is giving you a get-out-of-jail-free card next year. No matter what you make, you can convert to a Roth. Now, should you do all of it in 1 year? Well, maybe, maybe not. Should you do it over 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? You know, what plan can we get to start converting that money that's in jail and get it out of jail over a period of time and minimize the tax bite? Because in today's world, if you have this much money in an IRA and you convert it to a Roth tomorrow, people say, well, yes, but I'll lose a bunch of money.
Right.
But net after tax, it's exactly the same number because the money pulled out of the IRA, net after tax will be the same as the smaller amount pulled out tax-free out of a Roth.
Okay.
So there's no damage.
There's no, because in the end you would lose it anyway, is what you're saying. So you're just making the shift now.
Right. So if you had a million,
can increase the growth.
Right. If you had $1 million IRA today and you're ready to retire tomorrow, and you were going to take out $50,000 a year, and you converted it to a Roth, and now you only have $750,000 left, and you can only take $37,500. You don't get to keep the whole $50,000. You got to pay tax first, and you're down to the same number. So if you stay, the risk is what our tax is going to be in the future.
Okay.
Because those tax dollars don't belong to you anyway. Those belong to Uncle Sam. So they're showing in your portfolio, But in actuality, you don't have access to those. Just
Okay.
a percentage still has to go to Uncle Sam.
Okay, we're going to take a really quick break and come back and pick up on some more discussions in relation to this.
Great.
Okay?
Thank you.
Please stay with us. We'll be right back.